Everyone, welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session on social media strategy. My name is Benedict. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Just a bit about myself. I'm an experienced coding specialist and digital skills trainer, as well as having a background in the digital creative industry and worked in that sector for over 20 years. I would also like to introduce our amazing moderator, Chami. Chami is also a Google Digital Garage coach and will be interacting with you and answering just about all of your questions via the instant chat to the right there. You can identify the moderator by his name, Chami, as well as a little blue spanner next to his name. Now, just before we start, I just wanted to call out a few things to help you today. Firstly, if you are having any trouble viewing the webinar at any point, please do try refreshing your page. If you would like to join the instant chat today, and please do, it's a great opportunity to interact with us. You will need, of course, a YouTube account, which you can very easily set up by clicking the box on the right there. Now, we will be pausing throughout the session to answer some of the different questions. If Chami kindly passes them across to me, which would be great. So please do feel free to fire away with your questions throughout. Now, just to let you know, we are running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of a broad offering of courses. If you would like to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar training, please see information on this in the description below, which links you through to our website. Okay, we are going to be covering particularly these particular areas. So possibly you're interested in, working in social media, because of course social media now is very, very important. People will look for your website, but they'll also look for your social media. And of course, with an SMB, particularly, maybe you're considering starting social channels for your business to improve, to expand where you're appearing on the internet. So some of these different areas we will be covering today to assist you and help you. What would be really nice as well is if you can share with us where you're actually signing on from. That'd be fabulous. Then I can welcome you from the different parts of the world that you're signing on from. Okay, let us now get started. So today we're going to concentrate particularly on how social media can help grow a business. We're going to be looking at building a social media strategy and measuring success. And the third and last one is going to be best practices for social media. Hello, Nahian. It started already, so make sure it's playing and everything. Oh, great. So welcome. Is it Oyku? I'm not so sure totally how you pronounce your name, but that's fabulous. So welcome from Turkey. Excellent. And welcome to Fitness with Annie in Hamburg, Germany. Excellent. And Hero M5 from Jordan. Welcome to all of you. So great to have you here. Okay. So if you haven't put it, oh, there we go. We've got welcome Tema Ghana. That's great, Laurel. And so this is wonderful. And thank you, Oiko. I'm doing my best. And then is it Stavan from India, Bianca from London, and Nahian from Bangladesh. Excellent. I mean, I'm afraid some of these names we do struggle sometimes with pronouncing it, but we are doing our best anyway, which is great. It's wonderful to have you from all parts of the world, which is really fabulous. Now, there's a great opportunity I'm going to mention now. It is free. Unfortunately, though, I'm afraid. Oh, welcome, Agnes. Agnes from Brussels. Welcome. Great to have you here. And let me see. Alfie from Indonesia. Welcome. Okay, this thing I'm going to be presenting you to you now, unfortunately, I'm afraid it's not for the international yet. It's UK only for now. Let's hope that this will all expand. So this is largely if you work for a small business or charity in the United Kingdom. One of us can help you and assist you with your the particular place you are with your company and everything. You can have an hour session. Everything is totally free, as many as you like. But at present, it's only within the UK. Now, as I said, we're hoping to eventually expand this, but it's a great opportunity, certainly if you're in the United Kingdom. Okay. All right. And also, Chami will give you a link there to help you for that. And Olga, welcome from London. Have I mentioned that right? That's great. Welcome. And then, so how social media can help grow a business. Let's look at these couple of different things to help you. All right. So largely, to a large extent, your customers live on social media. Now, these are up to date. Sometimes we're updating some of these different stats, but certainly at the time when this was made, it was 44 million active social media users in the United Kingdom, and 1 hour 54 minutes average daily use of social media on any device. Now, I would have said nowadays it's even more now, actually, because a lot of people do go on there. And we've got, YouTube and Facebook. Often people go onto that. Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat. There's many different kinds, of course, of social media, some of which we will cover today. Okay, so some of the different things that you could be wanting to do here. If you're trying to particularly generate more sales, you could be reaching new audiences. This is a big thing, and creating new opportunities as well. So with particularly the new audiences, with up to 84%, now this is just in the UK, population on some social media platforms makes a good place to connect with new customers. That said, it's not free when you actually social media, when you're actually selling the different, boosting the different blogs that you might have and that kind of thing. So that those you actually have to pay for. So, and then there's new business opportunities. It gives you opportunity to connect with customers in different ways, such as facilitating competitions, interaction, all of that kind of side. And it's also ability to highly target demographics, which is great. You can go from age to gender to lifestyle preferences and interests. You can micro-target a range of different audiences with great granularity, really great detail. And then you can build relationships and networks, can help you to find influences around certain subject matters as well. And then also, if you think about, niche audiences, even though they are fundamentally free, you may need to pay to reach specific customers, particularly, certainly for a niche audience. Okay, so add value to your brand. Now, raise customers' service levels, particularly, this is the big thing about it. It starts a two-way conversation, really, more than anything. And it shows a new personal side to your business. Because often if you've got, a very big, a website and everything looks very formal and everything, this is a way that you can get across to them personally, certainly, if you're coming from that kind of business. And the big thing is you build your own community. People who come back because they've got their particular questions answered, or they've seen your particular blog and that's helped them, post, and that's helped them a lot, then of course they'll keep coming back for more. And then of course improve your marketing. The big thing here is, it helps you get noticed on search, because often the different things with search, one of the things could be a post that is covering particularly that area, and you could be going through to it. Just like when you're using blog, it can come up in the search result. You could be attracting more people to your site, because don't forget, with social media, you can have a link across to your site, which is very, very important. So people can go to as many places where you appear as possible, so they can see whether they kind of resonate with what you provide and who you are and what you represent. You can also gain valuable customer insights, particularly, and you can keep an eye on competitors. The big thing here as well is, of course, with your competitors, is you can learn from them. What kind of things do they have on the social media? What kind of particular things are really winning, for example, with those particular competitors? So there's a lot to learn from these different things. Okay. So ask yourself, are my posts, on social media driving people to my website? Who are my most influential followers? And what kind of updates should I post? And also, when is the best time to engage with my audience? All of these different things are very, very important, because you've got to make sure, for example, the best time, when people are searching for those particular things as well. So there's different tools and everything we'll be talking about today to help you with answer some of these different questions. Okay. And then also remember, attention spans are really short. This I like to think of largely as an excuse. It's because there's so much around us that we have to choose from. I mean, just go to a supermarket to buy a loaf of bread. One's for ages, there's just so much to choose from. I just want to live for bread. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, so people's attention spans are short, and often they'll be streamed through the different social media and only picking what they're interested in as well. And of course, there is masses of competition. That's where a lot of people post their particular things. And of course, so there is competition without a doubt, and a lot of it. And it is not always free. So when you're actually, when you're doing social media marketing, then of course you are actually paying for the different things. But with that, of course, you can really, you can really hone in correct people that you're wanting to draw on board, as it were, of what you provide. And of course, a big warning here, please. Once it's public, it's public. In other words, you can't go back in time and just take it off that. So once it's public, it's public. So just be aware of that. Okay. Excellent. We've got a nice big crowd at the moment who's following, which is absolutely fabulous. Sorry if I haven't noticed any of your introductions from different parts of the world, but it's wonderful to have all of you here. So one of the big things with that last point there, once it's public, it's public. Make sure you're careful in what and how you post to avoid PR disasters, public relations disasters. Once something is out there, it can't easily be erased, especially if it goes viral for the wrong reason. Okay. Okay. And one of the big things is with the scrolling, which I did mention as well, what is really going to make that scrolling stop for them to choose and read about it, particularly? Pausing for questions. Any questions so far? Let me just check. So do fire away with your questions. Don't forget, we're here to assist and help you with the different things, particularly the things that you want to ask us. We are here to assist you and help you. I mean, obviously, it would be on this particular area that we're covering, but the more the merrier, we are here to assist and help. Okay, I'm going to move on because I don't think there's any further questions. I'll keep checking. There will be a pause at the end of each section where I'll be checking if there's any further questions. Excuse me. So, how to build a social media strategy. We're going to go through the different key steps to really building a strategy. And what are the metrics and numbers and everything, the figures to look out for when tracking your efforts. Okay. Okay, I can see one question. Nahian has said, how can I start from scratch? Okay, one of the big things I would recommend with that, if I just go back a couple of slides here, we've got here, over here, no, where was it? It was on one of my slides. On the far right, we've got there, keep an eye on competitors. One of the big things I'd recommend, Nahian, is that you really do a lot of research with your competitors. Find out particularly, the kind of things that they really look for and everything. If you want to go further, there's one called Answer the Public. Chami will give you the link there, Answer the Public, just to help you to find out, get more information. Keywords as well, and that kind of thing is very, very important. There's different software. I mean, of course, we've got Google Trends as well to work out when to be putting your particular posts. But I would have said more than anything, you need to do research into your field of people who are there already and are successful. I hope that helps you, Nahian. Okay, let's go back to this, which is onto how to build a social media strategy. Right, let's go through these different points. So the 5 steps to create a social media strategy. The first and foremost, thank you, Chami, I can see you've done that. Thank you very much. The first and foremost is we always say in all of our talks, define your audience. Very, very important, define your audience. You need to know about your audience. You need to find out about them. So we'll come back to each of these points. Second one is set your goals. Very, very important. Set your goals, what you are trying to achieve with this particular thing. Then pick your platforms, so social platforms, because don't forget, there's many social platforms out there. I would recommend that you start with one, ideally. Now, again, slightly referring back to Nahian about the one which is starting from scratch, of course, you can find out where similar kind of services and companies, which platforms they choose. And then, of course, don't forget that you can also use something like Google Analytics to track particularly how people are, which particular things are driving people to your website as well. So that can help us a lot as well. But start with minimalist 1 and then maybe 2 sort of thing. Otherwise, you can become overwhelmed with a number of things, and it kind of, you become sort of diluted, because the more you stretch thin, the less you can do with each of the different social media. And then, of course, there's tone of voice, which is very, very important. You know, your social voice, is it friendly? Is it, you know, is it very official? You know, like legal or something? Very, you know. So there's many different kind of tones of voice. There's another talk we have, writing for social media. I recommend as well. Writing for social media, we do cover a lot of that, the tones of voice, who you're going to choose to represent your brand and all that kind of thing. And then what is success? What does it actually look like? Now, ideally, you set it up so you can really get an idea. I don't know if any of you have heard, you probably have, in business, is what's called SMART goals: specific and measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So therefore, you set up a SMART goal over one of these things with the social media. And of course, your success will be achieving that in a limited time, let's say increased by 20% or whatever after a month. So then you sort of set your milestones for yourself to achieve. And then, of course, you know, if you haven't achieved, then you sort of think about the different things you have learned. Now, here I would recommend most definitely that you need to do research on other brands which are already out there, which kind of social medias they are successful with. So have a look through them. I'm afraid the best way is to have a look through. So have a look at what particular areas and what do you want to do particularly as well. There's different social media, which we'll be covering a little bit later, much later. So we'll be going over each different type, but each one gives you something slightly different to help you. Okay, let's have a look at this now. So step 1, define your audience. Who are they? What are they into? Who or what influences them? And when are they usually online? What sort of time are they usually online? And then also, which social media do they use? So those particular areas, it's defining it, making it, you've got to almost sort of make this as clear as possible. So you build up what's called a persona. So you can really sort of imagine this person that you're communicating with. The closer to who the, you know, I mean, sort of, obviously you're generalizing, but there'll be many different people. But for your main client, you know, ideally, if you can work that out, at least for starters, then you can, what you're writing and everything can be honed in to that person particularly. Okay, so how to define your audience? One of the biggest things is speak to real people to understand their needs and interests. Nothing beats that. So when you're speaking, you know, talk to your, ideally, if you have clients there that you can speak to, that is fabulous. You know, you or your staff might engage with customers every day. It's possible. This might be the best moment to learn more about your customers, you know, their needs, which platforms they engage with. If you don't have clients, if you don't have customers, if you're just looking at your competitors, see what kind of questions and things that they ask about, things they like, you know, all of these different things. I mean, ideally, you build up a unique selling point, USP. So the point is you build all of these different things so that you can work out what you provide, what you can answer for, okay? But ideally, speak to real people. Identify groups and segments that can be most attracted to your offering, okay? So groups and segments. Segments is to show that often there's many different types of people that you are targeting. Some want this, some other ones that. So you're kind of working it out from that. But of course, start with your main client first before you start segmenting and all the rest, okay? And of course, one of the big things, once you have the data, make sure you're able to segment this, which, you know, splitting them up into groups. You can then really focus your marketing efforts around them. And then, of course, building an online survey. Finding an easy way to collect this data can often be challenging, because I don't know about you, but I often go, yes, I'll fill that in, and then I don't I don't know if I remember to whatever, but ideally, if you can get feedback from them, you can create a simple online feedback survey, using something like Google Forms, very easy to fill in. Google Forms will link through to Google Sheets, and then of course you can see all the responses there, which can be helpful. Or SurveyMonkey to actually collect that valuable data. Just some ideas there to help you. Okay. All right, find your insights from platforms. Now, the big thing here is every single social media will always have some form of analytics to give you feedback, okay? So the big thing here, we've got Google Marketing Platform Behavior Demographic Report. We can find out information about people who visit the website, helps understand our customers more, and can make your marketing material more relevant. This is a big thing. So you've got audience engagement there, age and gender there in the middle, Facebook there particularly, and there on the left you've got the graphs of the number of people and everything. So, and the new users and the ones who are coming back again. So that gives you some idea, all of this information to help you a little bit. And in fact, let me just take myself off briefly. Just 2 seconds. I'll just take myself off briefly so you can see it a little bit closer whilst you can still hear my voice. Okay, so there's that. Okay, defining your goals. So now this is step 2. So give better customer service, possibly. Are you going to be working particularly on that? Maybe better customer service than your competitors. Maybe you learned something that they don't provide. Maybe your unique selling point that you can provide. Grow your brand awareness. This is a big thing. So people become more aware of you and know about you, and look to you for answering particular questions, for example, that kind of thing. And then, of course, generating more sales, getting more people on your site, connecting with influencers. Ideally, of course, with the influencers, it's very helpful because then, of course, you could refer to the influencer referring to you, all these different things, and you're helping each other as it were. So a couple of different things there to help you. All right, so set one social media goal. Discover particularly what the goal is. So we're going to use what's called the double diamond framework to problem solving. Now, always some form of structure or framework always helps one tackle these different things. It just makes it more structured, so exactly, you can see what you're really doing. So with a double diamond here, we've got, first of all, discover what the goal is and how it helps your particular business. Define what are the things that could get in the way. What are the obstacles that could get in the way? And then develop, what do you need to achieve this goal? What particular elements do you need to achieve this particular goal? And then deliver, how can you remove or get around these barriers particularly? So it gives you an idea of one way of dealing with it. Discover what the goal is and how it helps your business. Define what are the things that could get in the way. Develop what you need to achieve this goal, and deliver how you can remove or get around these barriers. Okay, so step 3. Okay, choosing your channel carefully. Now, of course, each channel, as I said before, will require investment, of course, time and money. This is particularly why I say it's ideal if you start with 1 and maybe 2 at the most, in order to really optimize results. It's a common misconception that it's free, but of course it's not. Social media marketing isn't. So don't just be on all for the sake of it, or to go, yes, I'm social media. It won't add much value, but it will add a lot of extra work. So, concentrate on 1 or 2. So, could be live on Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp. There's many different ones that you could be using. But the big thing is which channels are right for you. And of course, one of the big areas is it can depend whether you're going for business to business or business to customer as well. So, for example, if you choose business to business, knowledge-based, for example, slideshow, interior designs, if that's what you cover, fashion. So business to business are still customers, so they will still be using those platforms, but can be creative the way we particularly approach and ensure the timing is right with these different things. Okay, so let's have a look. So let's have a look at the different things that you could be using. Now, Twitter, you all know this quite well. This particular one we've got here on the Dollar Shave Club, once a month. Okay, so the term particular manly audience, simply use of polls you could be using to reinforce for this particular one, to reinforce their products easy and quick to make and easy and quick to answer as well. I mean, the big thing with Twitter, it creates a professional looking profile, header image, at name. It gets noticed and join conversations by using relevant hashtags. One of the big things, of course, as you know, with Twitter has always been that it's been very fast, very, very quick little comments. Of course, obviously, it's expanded since then, but that's certainly the way it started. And you can ask questions around polls. You can retweet and engage with content your customers would like. And you can use pinned tweets to display important messages or offers and that kind of thing. So that's Twitter, which you can use and everything. Another one, we're not going to be covering, of course, all social media, but another one is Facebook, for example. It helps customers find you and see what your business is about. One of the big things here as well is it's great for communication about the different things. Here we've got the example here, proper tasty Italian style bolognese ragu, and then we've got potato, and then the different recipes and beautiful pictures. And of course, obviously, this particular person who is presenting all these different things will be demonstrating often the different recipes and everything. So so fast, quick, indulgent recipes, videos, use of popular ingredients makes, the videos viral, and tapping into trend for videos and culture of tagging friends in content on Facebook as well. So that's Facebook. You can particularly here, you can be adding opening hours, contact details. You can change the call to action button. So it could be shop now, contact, buy now, many different things. And then you can use GIFs and videos to actually generate interest and shares. So that is Facebook. Of course, a lot of people do find it more useful. Particularly for communication, or people, certainly certain things are celebrated, birthdays and everything. So that's Facebook. Okay. Then there's, of course, Instagram, which is particularly based on the image. So it's a place to share photos and videos of anything from new products, to a day at the beach. It's a consistent brand element in every image. Very, very important that you do keep with that. High quality, consistent colors. Okay, this is my advice to you. Showcasing, your products in creative ways as well. And make sure it does not disrupt the consumer's feed, particularly as well. So, you can use your photo caption to tell a story. Stories are so important. There was a TED talker, and they'd done research on people, on stories, basically. And they had the volunteers, who are the audience, who had detectors attached to their scalp to pick up their brainwaves. The person went up to give a talk. The person started off quite a sort of general topic. They picked up the brainwaves, seemed a bit all over the place. But as soon as the person started on a story, they started to go in sync. I mean, not just like that, no, but obviously gradually. That's one of the things, if you think about it, if you go to a cinema and you're watching, you're getting more and more involved in it, you go, and then you suddenly realize you're not alone. It's kind of like, again, you were getting captured into the story. So story is a very important element. So you can, with Instagram, you can use your photo caption to actually tell a story and get people interested as well. So go easy, particularly on the hashtags, don't have too many, and follow influencers, brands, or people you find interesting, because you can keep on learning quite a lot from them as well. Okay, so that is Instagram, which is quite popular, certainly on the image side. Okay. And then, of course, there's LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is, of course, particularly business to business and taking people on for the different things. LinkedIn is, particularly, obviously you've got your CV and all the rest, but in some ways, I think sometimes LinkedIn is a little bit like your business CV, but connections and your posts and all sorts of things added onto it. One of the great things I feel as well is with LinkedIn, if you get a review from a professional, you can actually click on other people can click on that that review, might be very complimentary, people can click on it and go to the website, to the actual LinkedIn of that particular person, so they can really see who's actually leaving those particular reviews. And that gives an authenticity to it, because we think about it, if you know, in your CV, you might quote someone who said something great about it. You can leave, referee details and everything, absolutely. But it's great when you can just click on it and just go straight there and see the person, and that will be, the person. So it's quite useful, certainly in that way. So it's great for, of course, for recruitment, building a professional network, or connecting with peers. It is certainly good for network side as well, for bringing different, offering what you particularly provide and everything. You could create a personal or a company page and add a profile. Now, that's quite interesting because, of course, you can add a company page. Now, certainly, if your company consists of many people within that company, I often think that's a great idea. Sometimes when it's only one person who's running the whole company and doing everything, sometimes people will tend more towards the personal page, because they want to know about the person who's doing everything there. Whereas in the company page, you often can't put as much information, of course, about the staff, because you are the staff. And then, of course, you can encourage your employees to become brand advocates as well. You can make your company page search engine friendly, generate interest by creating special showcase pages, share product news, thought leadership. Posting through leadership blogs and talent tips, particularly. You can post, L'Oreal particularly posts thought leadership blogs and talent tips, posts around 4 pieces of content per day. So this is L'Oreal. And then wide range of content that is open to anyone, and then interviews employees for an insider insight, because people do want to know what's behind the scenes, that's really important. There it is, L'Oreal. So you can see, the people there, in the company. So all of these different things are very, very important. It's a bit like with behind the scenes. People love to see what's behind the scenes. Welcome, Theophilus. Welcome, Theophilus. Theo, sorry. Welcome, Theo, from Indonesia. Welcome to be here. Okay, so I'll come back to that later. So that's a couple of different things with L'Oreal. And also another thing would be, of course, if you can have case studies as well, and a lot of these different things, that helps enormously, So product news and thought leadership content. When I'm saying that, is it Snigdha? Just to explain what you got that question there. What is an example of thought leadership content? Okay, I'm afraid I can't give you an example offhand immediately, but if you think about the people who are at the forefront, at the cutting edge, as it were, of all these different things, who have some great ideas and great things to communicate that could really help people with a different size. So that would be the thought leadership, because they are leading the different things. They have the expertise. They are the forefront. They are the best in the market, you could say, as well. So they are the leaders of the particular thought path, of that particular industry. I hope that helps you, Snigdha. Okay. Let us move on to YouTube. Now, YouTube is the most popular video sharing site. You can show, well, with a limit, but you can show just about anything from product reviews to your latest ad. Great. I'm glad that helped you, Snigdha. So video thing is really useful. You can check out the different things. You can be, as we were saying there, Snigdha, you can be a thought leader and create shareable content. I don't know about you, but in my trade, I used to do animation and everything. Now I mainly I compose for films. I'll often go onto the internet, I go onto YouTube, and there'll be certain people I recognize as well. And you could say those people are the thought leaders, but I recognize them as well. And I can learn something from them. So that's one of the things you could say as well, be a thought leader and create shareable content so people can share it amongst themselves. And, people really start to appreciate you. Just to give you an example, this is not quite the same as YouTube, but when I was doing when I was doing animation and everything, I got contacted by one of the top 3 consultancy companies, and they wanted to, one of the top 3 global consultancy companies, they wanted to know for their client whether it would be best to do 2D or 3D animation. So I provide them feedback, pros and cons of 2D, 3D, and whiteboard animation, which my company specialized in. They said, thank you very much. I said, no problem. And then I thought, okay, well, I didn't advertise myself, my own company at all. But of course, they knew about it. And 5 or 6 hours later, they called me up and they wanted to take on my company. Because, of course, I provided that information for free. So always this thing that, okay, fine, I understand you want to do sales. Absolutely. But the point is, the more you can communicate with them and help them with all these different sides, the more people will start to appreciate you. So, for example, with that, I got that great job. It went really well. But then not only that, but I was able to use that question when we said share with real people. I could put that, I used that as a title for the blog, which was 2D or 3D animation, which is best for your company. And that was my most used blog. So again, it's kind of, it's using all these different things to help you. But the big thing is if you are a thought leader, certainly, shareable content, you are helping people with these different sides. And people don't forget that. So think about creating useful videos for your audience. This is a big thing. Useful, helpful, all these different sides. Look for potential collaborators to really help grow your channel, particularly. Okay, so YouTube is very, very useful. And it's often accessed. My wife, she teaches special needs, but she loves sewing. She's got quite into sewing. And I'll often find her falling asleep in front of the YouTube where she's watching another example of another particular design of the particular thing that she's been wanting to sew. And of course, it is quite complicated, that area. But of course, just about everyone accesses something. The quickest format, the better. So often a face there to explain the different things. That helps a lot. And don't forget as well, with your different posts, you could embed a YouTube, or whether it's posts or whether it's a blog, you could embed the YouTube with you actually talking about it, which is matching with the content of the blog. That's fine. But the point is you're putting it across personally, and people often appreciate that and go the quickest route, which is to watch you rather than read. Okay, so your brand's social voice. Sorry, let me just check if we had one example here. Yes. To help. Yeah. All right. Your brand's social voice. Okay, so the big thing here is sort of brand guidelines, logo use, fonts and colors, tone of voice, your personality, do's and don'ts, and style of images. So these are a couple of the different things we're going to be covering now. Okay. So what is the tone? Is it friendly? Is it provocative? Is it fun? Is it serious? Is it formal or is it casual? What is best for your company? What best stands for it? Okay. And you might set some principles to stick to and then adjust the tone according to the type of content and platform. Of course, you can do that, but you need to keep quite consistent. So so people can recognize you with the tone, with the lights, with the images, all of those different things, what you stand for, your principles. And people love a glimpse of what's going on. I did mention this before. People love to see what's actually going on. So for news, you might be very, very formal, but very helpful with different things. And whereas in a relatable how-to video, you might be more relaxed as well. So this is an example we've got here now, case study. So the This Girl Can campaign was huge on social media and continues to be so. You got here under these gloves is a beautiful manicure. I also know the offside rule and sweating like a pig, feeling like a fox. It's that liberty I can be who I like as a lady, as a woman. I can be those different things. And that is really important because, of course, not fitting into what they have to, how they have to represent themselves, but I can break all these rules, and I'm proud of myself with those kind of things. So that particular tone of voice, quite provocative and everything. And that became very, very popular, and that was used massively. That gives you an idea, particularly of one particular way of, taking this on and challenging people with a particular side. There is a link, actually, I think there's 2 links, Just double check those, Chami, and then give everyone those, just so they can have a read up a little bit more further about it. It's just on the slides. Okay. So step 5, define success. Okay. Now, is it growth in sales, traffic, influencers? Is it, improvement in customer service, calls answered, star ratings, increase in brand awareness, reach, and number of mentions? Do you want people to keep coming back for more and writing reviews, maybe? There's many different sides that you may need at your particular process of, your business, building and everything. So it depends where you are. But the point is, you've got to define what is your success. So, and also where organic reach can only take you so far. The big thing is, can only reach followers and followers of followers. It's very easy to pay a little extra to reach more customers, and it doesn't have to be expensive. So a few platforms make it difficult to reach without paying for it. So it works really well if your goal is more sales and growth. So more reach and audience, important across all platforms, and especially if your goal is more sales and growth. Okay, I hope that helps you a little bit. Bringing everything together. All right, so now we're going to go over what we have covered and what the participants particularly have done. So firstly, audience, defining the audience and how to make things relatable to them. Now, no doubt, by the way, I'm hoping you're taking notes of this. Don't forget that when I'm finished, up till 24 hours after I've finished, you can use, with the same URL, you can watch these different, this whole talk again, if there's any part that you missed. Thank you, Chami. I think he's provided there that particular link, which is very helpful. So, you can watch these. If anything you missed, do go back to the video and just check it out. But it's up till 24 hours. Obviously, this is all copyright material with Google, so it's only for a certain time. And then, of course, you won't be able to see it. And, of course, we do give this talk at other times. So audience, first of all, define the audience and how to make things relatable to them. That's the most important thing. So you're getting everything ready for them. Then the second one, set one business goal and how to mitigate any barriers. You remember the double diamond. And then choose one or more channels, preferably one. And then think about a tone of voice and potential content for special channels. And then constructing some ideas on defining success. This is a big thing. What is success? What do you want to achieve? And this particularly, I know we don't have it in this talk. We mentioned other ones, the SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely. So you can really sort of say, this is going to be success. Helps masses. All right, pausing for questions. Let me just see if there's any questions. That's a very good question, Nahian. There's another side as well. So can I learn digital marketing completely from Google? You certainly can get started with a lot of different things. I don't know about completely, and I don't want to be saying anything, that will be complete. Of course, digital marketing is something so immense, it takes a lot to learn. There is something I want to give you the link to. Chami, thank you so much. There is Google Digital Garage online training. Now, with the online training, with these talks, hopefully you walk away with far more than a certificate. You walk away having learned a lot, I hope, from this experience. Thank you, Chami. You know what I mean? But of course, with the Google Digital Garage online training, you can do it in your own time, and most of them you're provided with a link. Now, there's one called Fundamentals of Digital Marketing. Now, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, I think it's about 20 hours long. So it is quite a long one. It's taken by Gori, head of our division, and also Sarah, who's Google in London. So, it's really well presented, nice and clear, and it covers just all of, fundamentals. That's the fundamentals of digital marketing. Let me point out, it's not the, highly advanced, but the point is it covers all of digital marketing. So you can gradually learn the different things to help you. Are you doing that course? Excellent, Nahian. Excellent. What I'd recommend, sorry, I'm a bit excited, but that's great. So use that, obviously. Once you finish that, Nahian, go even further. Another thing we do have, which I mentioned in this talk, we don't normally talk about it, it's normally just for the job seekers, but there is a certificate There is also another one, which is Job Seekers Certificate, particularly. But that is certainly in the UK, I'm afraid. It's not outside again, but there are courses in particular areas, particularly including UX and all sorts of different areas. So those, oh, you took that course, Agnes, great. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's been helpful. Social media, you can recommend us to keep on with the trends, updates, insights. Yes, Oiku, newsletters on social media. One of the things I'd recommend as well, just to get you started, Oiku, I mean, obviously there's many I can mention, but I don't have time for that. But what I would recommend as well, Think with Google can be very helpful. So Think with Google will kind of give you some ideas on what they're searching, what they're looking into, just to get started. And that's, of course, totally free. Now this really depends what you're wanting to be going onto. So you have a look through any of those other courses. Of course, as you know, they are all free. And also there's also the certificates, the job seeker certificates that we have, which are particularly towards training in particular areas, UX and many different sides, project management and data analysts and all sorts of different areas. So there's many different areas. Nahin, if you're in the UK, book for a one-to-one, and then we can help specifically for you. Okay, but at present, of course, obviously we're just covering this with everyone. But I hope that helps you a little bit there. I think Chami's giving, thank you very much, Chami. Chami's giving the link there of Think with Google there to help you get started and everything. There's just so much information, and we're here to give all this exciting information as much as possible. We're trying to cover as much as we can. And of course, some of these talks that we are giving now, okay, you're welcome, Oku. Some of these talks that we're giving now, of course, are going to be updated as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Nahin, but do what you can. Well, sorry. Yeah, do you think ads in a video form of an... Okay, you copy that across, Jeremy, to the questions. Oh, yeah, we are on the questions. So let me see now. Let me answer your question, Stevan. Do you think ads in a video form of an image form attract more traffic? Yeah, I mean, you can certainly, Stevan. This always depends on what you're advertising. So I can only go so far. The point is, if the ads are something which is covering particularly what would interest them, and obviously Google tries to match as much as possible so that it's appropriate ads. I don't know about you, I do tend to avoid ads as much as possible. If I do click on them and everything, then I'm going out of my way. So the difficult thing as well, Stevan, is that often ads, whether it's Google ads or whatever kind of ads it is, they are more than anything, they have to be a sort of an investment. You're getting better known, you're having these different ads, and gradually people are seeing them. But that's quite all right, Nahin. It can take a long time for people to really actually click on it, take action about it. So it is a difficult one to answer, Stevan, and I'd like to know if you are, of course, in the UK, and if you are, then obviously book a session. If you're not, I'm afraid I can't have a one-to-one, but you never know. Sometime in the future, we'll be able. But do keep coming to our talks and everything. We'll try and help as much as possible. No problem at all, Nahin. There's no such thing as too many questions. We try and cover what we can, obviously, within what we can here. Okay, I hope that has been a help. Let us move on to the last section. Excellent, very exciting. And obviously we're here to help. So we love to see these questions, and obviously we try and cover them with our limited time as much as possible. But obviously Google is constantly providing as much stuff as possible. And as I said, there's going to be further developments which will be happening. You know what courses happening all around the world, ChatGPT, Google Bard, AI is developing all sorts of different things to help you and assist you. So many things will be changing to assist you even further with these different sides. Okay, now let us move on to tools and best practices. All right. So your social channels, of course, are often public. So here are some best practices and tips. We always try to cover them, so you can actually use to make sure your strategies Succeed. Okay, can't say it today. Too much talking. So what sort of content should we share particularly? So first of all, think about the types of content you may wish to post. Sometimes you need to go beyond what you might wish to post, but what people will want to see. Now, obviously, it differs per platform, but here's some simple starting ideas. Okay. Announcements. For example, a new product. People will love to see if there's a particular new product and everything. And people love a glimpse of it, you know. All of us do, I mean, I think. Okay, great. Thank you. I see Chami's answered quite a few of the questions that come through there. And then also create useful how-to content. I can't say how important that is. That's the non-promotional, behind-the-scenes insights. But insights, it's so important. People really do appreciate when you've helped them, when you've solved a problem. If I've seen one and that person's helped me on YouTube, I'll probably watch that. And eventually I might even subscribe if I'm really, and eventually if there's something being sold, I might even look at their website. Well, I'll probably look at their website first because they gave me so much information. People don't forget these things. And run a theme or regular content feed as an idea, okay? And then you've got product or brand related product tips or tricks, and then responses, for example, engaging with a customer or influencer, operational job openings. The more, of course, obviously you can open up for more people to join the team, that's great. And if you're following your social media a lot, you can see people who are really into it, and you can gauge a little bit of what, you know, maybe what they're like as well. And then recurring content, seasonal sales and that kind of thing. Okay. Also, don't post the same across all channels. That's particularly why I say start with one, maybe two, because you've got to tweak it around too, so that it's appropriate for that particular channel. And don't repeat content again and again. This is what we recommend generally. Don't sort of, you know, nothing new, to put it simply. All right. Let's take a few minutes and, okay, we're going to go through this now. So experiences worth sharing. All right. It could even be how you can encourage customers to actually create a user. So there's many different areas you've got here. So let's go back to your list and think of ways you can encourage your audience to engage with your brand and how you can make the engagement authentic, relatable, and timely. So think Coca-Cola, for example, the names on bottles campaign, and Starbucks having season cups, for example. Those particular things, and then people take a picture of it, and then they put it up, and then they put it with the hashtag. All of these things can enlarge all the different things here. Tips for sharing content. Yes, I'm afraid of the chat box. Yes, but don't forget, up to 24 hours you can watch this whole talk, so you can see all the different things. I'm afraid there's no certificate of attendance. No, sorry. But don't forget, we've got our courses where you can get a certificate. And then tips for sharing content. Use great graphics. Now, Canva is one which you can use for free to a large extent, and other similar resources makes it really easy and affordable to create quality social media graphics. Now, their library of social media layouts are free to use as many times as you like, making it easy to update your social profiles regularly. And you don't have to be a graphical designer to actually use it. That's canva.com. Thank you very much, Chami, for the link there for that one. Check your grammar. Now, another one is Grammarly. Helps you check all your writing for grammar mistakes and can be added as an extension of your browser, so it'll keep checking on the different things. Thank you very much, Chami, for the link for Grammarly. And then manage your social media accounts. You know, it's fair to say keeping up with continual posting and connecting with your customer base can be difficult and incredibly time consuming. So some things to help you. There's Hootsuite, is an incredibly useful, application for managing social media network channels, often referred to as a social media management system or tool. Enables you to view multiple streams at once and monitor what customers are saying. Thank you, Chami. That's Hootsuite. So many different things I'm asking of you today. And then one of the most useful features is to schedule posts in advance. So it allows you to schedule messages from all your favorite social media platforms in advance. This enables you to create a solid social media strategy that encompasses crucial times when postings are most often read and get more followers to notice your content. Okay, so You've got the knowledge, now let's see it in action. So set goals for a strategy, define a tone of voice for the audience and content, and then choose the right platforms to focus on. Thank you, Chami. That's an incredibly large 7 to inform me there's 7 minutes left, but actually it's 5. So on to the pausing for questions. Any further questions that Chami has not answered already? Let me just see now. Ads for email updates. Yeah, we do have a talk which is digital marketing strategy. Now, digital marketing strategy, we talk about different forms of digital marketing, and one of them is, of course, emails. So we cover that more in emails. Aria Thanga. Have I pronouncing your name correctly? No, I'm afraid, Nahian. Chami can't give all the links at the end. What you need to do is you can always scroll up and then you can see all the different things. And if you missed it, don't forget, you can watch it up till 24 hours after. And you can always scroll up to see the different links and then open them. Yeah, they're all above. Absolutely. Quite true. Gosh, I'm actually thinking after this 4 minutes to go, I might actually be, how many webinars will we get? You get as many as you like. Please do turn up to all of them, Nahian. And if you give the link, Chami, if you give the link for, well, I think you gave it at the beginning, our webinars. We've got many different webinars. And of course, you can actually see it underneath as well. It's stated there, I think. You can access them and you can book as many as you like. And even if you missed one, you want it from a different person's point of view. There we go. Thank you very much, Chami. So yeah, just turn up to everyone. I mean, we're here to help you. It's all totally free. I mean, of course, we're not free. We're paid. But I mean, of course, for you, it's free. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Nahian. That's great. That's the whole point. We're here for you to help and assist. So, please do come back for more. Okay, so what are your next steps? Let's have a look at your next steps. And of course, we've covered many different areas here. Don't forget, you can watch up to 24 hours after I've finished. You can go through the different things to help and everything. Anything you missed or whatever, and no doubt you have taken copious notes, I hope, or opened other tabs with all these different links. But whatever method you've used, we're here to assist and help, and you can, whatever your next steps. And of course, obviously, this is with your particular business. Now, obviously, if you are in the UK, we can provide one-to-one mentoring. I'm afraid at present it's not global yet. But certainly if you're in the UK, obviously book for a session. We can talk to you and find out your particular standpoint, your particular progress with your, with the funnel and everything with your business. But if you're not, if you're further afield, obviously come to as many talks and then of course book for these to get these certificates. Learn as much as you can to really help you. Okay. That's great. I'm glad you people have enjoyed it so much. It's been wonderful to have you all here and some wonderful anyway, let me get on to this. So everyone, thank you for all your questions, your contributions. Been absolutely fabulous. It's been really nice interacting with all of you. I would start with all the names. I can remember quite a few, but I better not in case I leave someone out. But it's been fabulous working with all of you. So everyone, thank you for all of that. And we are going to wrap up here as we are literally out of time, 2 minutes to go. I hope this has been a useful dive, particularly into social media and the strategy around that. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, if you're interested in more training from Google Digital Garage, there are a few ways you can continue learning, which of course I have mentioned before, but just to remind you, we are running many more Google Digital Garage webinars, which Chami gave the link for just now. Please see information on this as well in the description below if you want to see it. Don't forget as well with the different talks, keep checking because it'll only show you a couple of weeks in advance, but don't forget there's quite a few talks that we do cover, so keep checking. There'll be different topics to watch and you need to keep checking on that, the schedule. Also, if you would like to carry on learning online in your own time, check out the Google Digital Garage website for more information. So online training and everything, the training courses. You can do them 24/7 whenever you like. Okay. I want to thank everyone today for taking part. Your great questions, great contribution. Thank you, Chami. You've been absolutely fabulous. We really do look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session soon. Thank you.